would like to ask just a really basic question or two around the impact that connections and networks have had on you in your development. Even though you may not have gone to found a bunch of companies, you've obviously risen to such an incredible level in your field, and you're able to influence entrepreneurship in many different ways. I would love to know about some examples of critical connections that made a difference in your trajectory, whether it was a bridge between you and a different community, or a way that you were able to learn about, gain information that you wouldn't have gotten if you stayed in your lane, so to speak.
Okay.
Could you characterize some of the most key relationships or connections that mattered during your career? Even if you don't identify them, you can just
Sure.
categorize.
So every employment transition that I made with the company or from division to division within some of the firms I've been with was through networking. It's not like I was visible to them by naturally. I had to make an effort to be visible to them. I had to reach out to them, and they appreciated who I was for. I didn't have to tom-tom what I did. However, it was through every promotion I had, actually, not the one that the one I talked about earlier, which was a fictitious one, or some of the others like that. But it was because of the network. Every role, and even the power of the network is not just for guiding entrepreneurs, but even placing job seekers, people in transition, right? To help them, the network comes in handy there, where you can introduce somebody to some person and vouch for them, be a reference, right? So that is one. The second one, I would say, the power of the network is that any given time, I know this, I'm again not trying to, I'm being self-effacing, and I'll say that, please take it with what it is. In any of the firms, even the current firm that I'm at, everybody will ask, hey, so-and-so, do you know him? They'll ask me. Or do you know her? Because somehow they think that everybody's connected to me. Okay. And it turns out that even so-called strangers who show up here turn out to have been somehow connected to me some N years before. And it's a shocker to many, to them and I, because I had full head of hair and a walrus mustache those days, that, that we are still recognize each other and remember things and so on. So the network is very important. And it is important, even people whom you have not met, right through them, and then kind of take it from there. So which is how, as I mentioned, right, even my volunteer activity, it is entirely through networking. It is not that I have a website or my number is on some speed thing or some where you can seek help, whether it's to place refugees in Afghanistan. Even the people who were on the last flight out of Kabul, I was somehow able to help some of those people, right? Again, these are things that where networking is absolutely key. And somebody even attributed this slogan. So Keith, you can use it in your classes. Okay, so again, with all due reference to Shakespeare and to Hamlet, right? So this lady picked up on my slogan because she was kind of reluctant to she's very modest, was reluctant to engage with people, strangers and so on. So I told her, the choice is simple. The choice is to network or not to work. And she said, oh my God, this is something. And then she posted that on LinkedIn as some people are like that. They attributed things to me. They even put things like, oh, they are graduates or they are students of my mentorship or something. And I said, please, there's no need for all this, right? You are who you are. I'm just being a catalyst or an enabler here, right? So, but again, so the power of the network is absolutely cannot state it enough. Okay, it is absolutely required, and not just for business, but for even volunteer actions, whatever you want to do, whether it's your alumni association, etc. You know, I was stupid. I didn't participate in any of my alumni activities and all that. And then now I realize, oh, that was a golden opportunity. So a few years ago, I'm very active in all my alumni associations. I even participate in schools where I'm not even an alumnus of. Okay, so I'm going to their events because somehow they felt that I was adding value to their events and so on.